Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, looking at the put to call ratio right now, it is not high. It's at, well, it's not really that high. It's at 0.63. If it's really high, I definitely want to see in the 90s plus, but no, it's kind of in the mid range. So nothing to talk about on that. The economic calendar for the week, I already looked at it. There's not much going on. Let's see, Monday, nothing. Tuesday, consumer confidence, at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Wednesday, really nothing. Thursday, preliminary GDP and unemployment claims at 8:30 in the morning. Other than that, nothing. A lot of Fed speakers throughout the day. Friday, manufacturing PMI and core PCI price index for Friday morning. So really not much on the economic calendar for the week now. We had the big gap down, not that gap down, big drop on Friday on SPY. And that 600 levels kind of holding. It closed exactly at 600. Remember at the end of the day Friday, I had calls thinking that we're going to have a massive bounce at 600. And of course, we did. We didn't Friday, but we gapped up. I can see, the futures is up like 22 points right now. So yeah, we had the big gap up, but a big bounce. So it kind of too late for that. But anyways, so like I just said, the market is gapping up right now. We'll see if that stays that way by the time tomorrow comes. But I would watch out for if it gets below 600 again, we probably could have a nice dump down to 595, 590, 585, 580. But I'm going to assume that depending on the size of the gap up, we might bounce and have a dead cat bounce tomorrow. I don't know. We really had a couple days. Like we dropped and we bounced and we dropped. So we might bounce up to 605 or something, or even 607, and maybe make new lows below 600. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Right now, we're just speculating on what's going to happen tomorrow, especially with the big gap up. Usually, when you have big gap ups, we usually fade at opening, but we've had a big $10 drop off on Friday, so we could end up bouncing and recovering all of SPY lately. When he has these big drops, it just likes to V rally, so we may just rally. Gap up and rally to 610 or maybe even all-time high tomorrow. Who really knows? We'll just have to play it based on how it opens up and how it looks like pre-market. That's why you need to be in the room. But we'll be ready either or. It's kind of hard to pick a level when it's gapping up this much, but it gets up at 605, it's probably going to go to 610 an all-time high. But it gets back on the 600, 595, 590 is definitely in the cards for that. So VIX. VIX went to what, 18 plus, $19 on Friday. Usually when we have these big pops, so they usually end up dropping down. Like we had a big pop here that got sold off at open and popped up, and right here, open here, and it just got crushed. So anytime we have these big green candles, they pop up a little bit, then they just start selling off. So maybe we keep that trend up, and we end up fading on the VIX, and SPY ends up going back up to all-time high again. So we'll have to see what happens. When you look at the weekly, green candle red, green candle red, green candle red, green candle red, green candle red. It's writing itself right now. So right now the VIX could get pounded back to 15 on that. So we just have to keep an eye on that, see what ends up happening, and just take it day by day. BA is one I'm watching. BA is it's kind of got an inverted head and shoulders on the weekly. You get the left, the head, and the right shoulder. So if it gets over 187, you might make a nice run to 200, but it's having trouble in this 174 area, 175 area. It gets below 174, we could end up seeing a drop down to 165, 160. So we'll have to see which way BA ends up going. But BA could definitely have a good play, especially if it gets over the 187 area, possibly break out. But we'll have to see if it actually does something. We'll just take it day by day. BABA, I was kind of surprised that BABA is still going. I mean, the weekly, I have to kind of go out more on the weekly, go like 5 years. It used to be, yeah, it used to be like 325. This is pretty unusual for BABA because it hasn't gotten this high since uh, what year is this? 2021, so 4 years ago. So we're at BABA's at a 4 year high, but I think it has a lot to do with its AI and but the RSI is 80. And last time it was 80, was right here, and we just faded. So, and we got the daily's even 88. So I would be watching BABA underneath 141 for fade to possibly fill some gaps down here. Down to 138, down to 128. So definitely BABA, keep an eye on that on the short side. We could end up seeing a really nice big play on that, on the BABA, getting a little bit of a pullback. Disney, inverted cup handle. I mean, it gets underneath 106. We're going to fill that gap to 103, possibly even drop down to 105. We got a gap down here, 197. So definitely could end up seeing a drop to 100 and filling that gap on Disney. So definitely keep an eye on Disney. Microsoft, another one. And Microsoft has still got that head and shoulders on the weekly that we've been talking about for a while. Let me blow it up a little bit. The left, the head, and the right shoulder. Right shoulder is a little bigger. But then again, you got a head and shoulders within a head and shoulders. You get the left, the head, and the right shoulder. And you got the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder here. So you get a head and shoulders within a head and shoulders. And the neckline's going to be about the 405 area. So if it gets below 405, Microsoft could have a nice big dump. Could end up dropping to 375, even 350 on that. So definitely have a potential there. We've seen big head and shoulder plays on the weekly candles, on the weekly charts like this before, like Roku and Baidu, or no, it was BA. It was BA that had the weekly. And look what happened to BA. But BA's weekly that did that was because of the airplane crash. I think that's what I probably have to go out more than 5 years. I have to go out 10. Yeah, see, I'm talking about right here, the head and shoulders on the weekly right here. It took a lot of time for it to play out, but it did finally play out. So the same thing could end up happening to Microsoft, just taking a long time for it to finally drop or whatever. So don't go crazy and stop buying puts right now, because the head and shoulders might not play out for months. Anything could happen. Now the last one is Tesla. I'd be watching two areas. One would be under puts underneath 325, head and shoulders right here. You get a little bit of a little left shoulder head and a little right shoulder. Gets underneath 325. Could end up having a drop down to 300 on that. But I also look for a bounce over 365. So that's what I'd keep an eye on for that, for a Tesla. So that's gonna do it. And thanks for watching.